Hello, and welcome to the first episode of my space engine exploration series. In this very first episode, we're going to be taking a look around at the solar system and the and kind of how this world works. Sorry. So the first thing we see here is obviously the Earth. We can look around it, and throughout this video, I'm going to be using orbit display, which shows the paths of all the objects, so we don't get lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom away from the Earth, and why don't we go take a look at the moon? It's right over here. Alright, and it looks pretty realistic. This is based on real imagery, as are with all the objects in the solar system. Whoops. Okay, where did the moon go? Okay, I had not locked onto it, that's why I did that. So lock onto it, just click on it, come down here and click that. Alright, so now that we've checked out the moon, let's find some different planets. So let's zoom away from the Earth and the moon. Alright, what do we have here? We have Venus here, and Mercury and the Sun. Let's take a look at Venus. Okay, this looks pretty boring from the outside. But you can actually go into these planets. You can actually land on them. So let's try and make sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to head into here. All right. So we've fallen through Venus. Okay. So I guess this is kind of what it would look like if you were on the surface of Venus. I don't know. It's probably as close as we can get right now. So let's get out of here. Oh, and if you didn't notice already, there's all this information over here about the object you have selected. Like how far away it is, how big it is, how similar it is to the Earth. Its orbital and rotation period, its gravity, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, let's head to Mercury. Why not? Mercury, and let's just fly there. And it looks pretty close to the moon, but obviously it's not. This is the closest planet to the sun, as most of you probably know. Mercury is very hot, but it's actually cooler than Venus because it does not have an atmosphere. And yes, these are all based on real imagery, so this is pretty darn close to what Mercury actually looks like. And I'll actually save the sun for the end of the video because it's kind of different than everything else. So what's the next planet? We have the first three. Let's head to Mars. Now Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, and they are shown here. Phobos, Deimos. So yeah. And we can land on Mars if we want to. Let's do this quickly. So yeah, you can land on this and look up at the sun and see how pretty everything looks. So yeah, and everything in this game is based on real scientific data. So this is probably as realistic as it gets in terms of a game slash simulator slash sandbox. Alright, let's head over to Jupiter. Jupiter is this big clump right here, and it looks like a clump because those are the orbits of its many moons. So here's Jupiter. Sitting pretty, just out here chilling. There's the sun, obviously. Here's its 4 main moons: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. All at their realistic distances and orbital stuffs. And then you got all these very small asteroid moons orbiting all around it, very far away, that take years to go around. So yeah, that's Jupiter. And you can take a look at the mass of Jupiter, I think. Oh, well, 1 Jupiter mass, yeah. Alright, let's head to Saturn. That's next. Now, what I just did there, that's real planet brightness. So this illuminates all the planets the same, no matter how far away it is from the sun. If you have this on, the further it gets away, the dimmer it gets. So I'm actually going to turn it off so you can see the planets better. But if you wanted to be realistic, you would turn that on and turn the orbits off. That's what it would actually look like. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to keep them on. And Saturn has a whole lot more actual moons than Jupiter. See, there's Titan out there all by itself. There's going to be things that I can't pronounce. But yeah, it has a lot of moons, and it's always got its nice ring sitting here like a married man just chilling here. Okay. And it doesn't have as many asteroid moons. I honestly don't know why. Maybe because it has less gravity. But let's head to Uranus. We're here. And again, the only reason I have the orbits on is so I can find all the planets easily. This one looks pretty dull. It's a very interesting planet, but it looks very dull from the outside. It has a very weird axis of rotation, if I can turn these on. Yeah, this long arrow across the middle of the planet is its axis. So yeah, you can see it's rotated very strangely in relation to all the other planets. You probably already knew that. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, let's turn those off. And you do that by hitting Control O, by the way. And yeah, it also has a lot of moons, but not near as many as Saturn and Jupiter because it is smaller and has less gravity. So let's go to the last one. Yeah, Neptune, my second favorite planet. As you can tell, it's very cold out here. It's 45 degrees Kelvin. It does not have any rings that are very clearly visible. It might have them, but I can't see any right now. It has one major moon, and that would be Triton. Sitting out there, very cold, even colder than Neptune. If you take a look at Neptune's orbital period, it goes around the sun once every 164 years. So yeah, it's pretty far out here. If you get kind of close to it and turn off orbits, you can get a nice one moment. Get behind the planet with the sun and turn off orbits. You get a pretty nice shot there, assuming you don't have this big line here, which just happens to be a glitch. Now it's gone, so that's pretty nice. yeah, just things you can do with the cinematics of this game. So that's all the actual planets. All these are dwarf planets and Kuiper Belt objects, like Haumea, Pluto, you know, those things. And you can visit those for yourself. And I promised at the beginning of the video that I would visit the sun, so I'm going to do that now. And the sun's appearing to get dimmer and dimmer. That's just because I'm getting closer and closer. If it didn't get dimmer and dimmer, it'd be very bright, like it looks like now. But that's just so you don't get blinded by the light. If you get really close to the sun, it's just a yellow sphere. Oh crap. Oh man. Okay, it's right there. Okay, let's lock onto the sun. Yeah, it's just a yellow sphere with, you can see the sunspots. You can land on the sun. It's not real interesting, but yeah, you can land on the sun. Let's land on a sunspot. Yeah. It's not real interesting on the sun, but yeah, you can do that. So yeah, that's the entire solar system. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to stick around the channel. I'm going to be uploading more soon. Thanks for watching.